Announcements, we will go into 2 required public hearings for the Code of Conduct and for the Safety Plan, and then resume the business meeting thereafter. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tonight we are joined by 6 of our board members, our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Timothy Harney, our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum, Mr. Robert Haas, our Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Operations, Mr. Louis Fronterio, our District Legal Counsel, Mr. Edward McCarthy, our District Clerk, Ms. Suzanne Benetti, and our Student Representative, Ms. Haley Hendershot. There will be 2 opportunities for community participation before the board takes up its agenda and after disposition of all agenda items. Non-district residents will require a majority vote of the Board of Education if they wish to make a statement. Time allotted for each speaker shall not exceed 3 minutes. All meetings are live streamed and posted thereafter on the district website. And please follow us on social media through X, Instagram, and Facebook. Can I have a motion to leave the business meeting and enter into the Code of Conduct public hearing? Ms. Kone, second by Ms. Pignataro. Discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. I'd like to welcome Mr. Zarcone up for the 2025-26 Code of Conduct hearing.
Here you go.
Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I'm here to present the one of the general school requirements, the Code of Conduct for our district. The purpose of this presentation is to review and discuss the requirements for a school code of conduct, conduct a brief public hearing to inform you of the revision process, and to propose any amendments to the code of conduct. So what is a school code of conduct? Code of conduct is a set of principles, expectations, and/or rules that are given to students, parents, guardians, persons in parental relationship, to make sure that the expectations that the school has set for behavior are clearly communicated to them. In terms of our revision process, the District Project Save Committee, which typically meets on a monthly basis, we met a little more this year due to some safety things we were working on enhancements. But this did go through the Project Save Committee as usual, and they take any recommendations from that committee, which I chair. It did get reviewed by our district's council. We do take into account any amendments of school regulations that come forth from the state. This is all reviewed, and this presentation is gone through the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Mr. Haas's office. We need to provide an opportunity for public comment, and then eventually for a Board of Education adoption. In terms of the requirement for the school code of conduct, there are key components that must comprise the document. So there must be some type of statement with regards to school conduct and discipline. We must spell out all of the students' rights. We must inform the students of all their responsibilities that they have. We need to identify the essential partners and their role in this code of conduct and expectations for student behavior. And that can be a parent, person in parental relation, staff member, aide, coach, custodian, buildings and grounds member, Board of Ed, community at large. There's an expectation that students dress a particular way for school, and we discuss what items are deemed necessary or not necessary to wear to school. There's a prohibited student code of conduct and some examples provided within the document. There is spelling out of reporting of violations. It basically spells out where, how, when, and why violations or possible violations of the code are occurring. We need to provide directory information on the Dignity Act coordinators. We have Dignity Act coordinators in each building. They're identified by name, title, phone number, and email contact. The requirements continued. We just spell out disciplinary penalties, procedures, and referrals, noting that if something was to occur, an incident was to occur, the child's age would be taken into account, the incident would be taken into account, their previous record, if any, statements from any of the essential partners involved. Student suspensions from class or activities, there are certain procedures that we must abide by. There are minimum periods of suspension that are mentioned in the document. This is typically has to do with bringing a firearm to school or an extreme violent incident occurring. We have disciplinary and remedial consequences for bullying, harassment, and discrimination. This is all covered under the DASA Act, the DASA regulation that New York State brought forth a number of years back. We mentioned the referrals to outside agencies, whether it be PINS through the county to assist the family and child with their education, or in the unfortunate event that the law is broken, there's a referral to Suffolk County Police Department. We have defined student searches and interrogations and when those things are allowed and how they occur. We do have procedures for our visitors to get screened prior to entering our schools, and then also a discussion on public conduct on school property. So those are all the key components and requirements that need to be in the document. At this time, there are no proposed changes to the code. There's an opportunity for public comment, which happens, I guess, at this point. School District Board of Education Services shall adopt a code of conduct only after at least one public hearing that provides for the participation of school personnel, parents, or persons in parental role, students, and any other interested party. Questions and suggestions are welcome. I listed myself out as my official title in the district for safety and security. I also put the principals down because each of the buildings, they do have a code of conduct for the elementary, middle school, and high school level that come out of this kind of overreaching document that I just presented to you.
Thank you, Mr. Arcone. Are there any community members that have questions as it relates directly to this presentation? Any board members have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I have a motion to close the Code of Conduct public hearing and enter into the safety plan hearing?
Second.
Ms. Connie, seconded by Ms. Pignataro. And we're back at Mr. Zarcone, who will give us the 2025-26. Oh, sorry. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We're back to Mr. Zarcone, who will give us the 2025-26 public safety hearing. Safety plan hearing.
Thank you again. So this is the Commissioner's Regulation, Education Regulation 100.2 District-Wide Safety Plan. This speaks in general terms to the safety, the precautions and things and protocols that we have in place in the district. There are building level specific plans. This is different from that. Their plans are derived from things that are in this district-wide safety plan. So the purpose of this presentation to review and discuss the requirements for a school safety plan, conduct a brief public hearing, discuss the revision process, and bring forth any proposed amendments to the plan. So with regards to the plan, the overall structure remains the same as previously approved by New York State Education Department. In terms of an introduction, the plan establishes the purpose, missions, and goals, identifies the district-wide school safety team and overall operations, and addresses the review and public comment process. Within the safety plan, you have to have risk reduction, prevention, and intervention strategies listed, which we do. These include training, drills, exercises, hazard identification, early detection, response, and agency assistance. We need to provide what operational guidance we're operating under. We utilize the incident command structure and overall response actions. The incident command structure is structured out of what the public safety entities would be utilizing if they were coming to assist us in the event of an emergency. So essentially, we'd be speaking the same language and have the same structure. The organization and assignment of responsibilities, this delineates responsibilities from the board down onto the buildings. In terms of recovery, in the event that there was an emergency, we need to plan for a full resumption of normal operations within our schools. Revision process, again, like the code, this did go through Project Save Committee. We made sure that we were in line with the amendments of the school regulations put forth by the state. We took input from the building level emergency response teams, mostly in the form through the Project Save Committee because they are members, and we do have representation from each of the buildings on that committee. We consulted with our school safety consultant, Michael Griffin. We need to provide an opportunity for public comment, which comes after this presentation, and then eventually Board of Education adoption. So proposed amendments to the safety plan, specific updates. There's pertinent changes to team roles and responsibilities to align with staff changes. As staff, either leave or new ones come on, or people assume a different role within the district, we make sure that they're aligned within our plan with their new responsibility. New York State requirements beginning with the 25-26 school year include lockout terminology is now changed to secure lockout. Drills and training are conducted in a trauma-informed, developmentally, and age-appropriate manner. Drills and training are not to include props, actors, simulations, or other tactics intended to mimic a school shooting, incident of violence, or other emergency, and students and staff are to be informed when the school is conducting a drill. Essentially, drills are meant to inform the children what to do in the event of an emergency. It's not meant to scare them or for them to feel anxious every time the fire alarm goes off or when they hear that we're going to be conducting a drill. It's really, we want to try and get muscle memory for both them and the staff as well that are conducting the drill. Opportunity for public comment once again. That we'll adopt a safety plan only after at least one public hearing that provides for participation of school personnel, parents, and persons in parental control, students, and any other interested parties. And once again, there's my information. In terms of the district-wide safety plan, I did put the principals on there because they're in charge of the plan for each of their buildings. That's in line with our plan, but if you have specific questions, they might be able to address their building plan better than myself. And with that, questions and suggestions are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Sarcone. Any community members who have questions specifically related to the safety plan can come up now if they'd like. No one? Trustee questions? Ms. Pignara.
Not a question, just wanted to thank Mr. Zarcone. I had an opportunity to attend several Project Save Committee meetings this year, and I just want to thank you and the committee for welcoming me to those meetings, and also thank you all for your work. So just for the community to know, everyone on that committee is a volunteer. They all volunteer their time to help make our schools safer. So we thank you so much for all your work.
Thank you, Mr. Zaccone, for that. Just as a reminder to the Board of Ed, obviously, this is something that we need to do annually for these two, the code of conduct and the district-wide safety plan, which, remember, is different than the building-wide safety plans. And then there'll be a 30-day wait period, so to speak, and at our reorg meeting, because of when our reorg meeting is, this is when we would ask for the Board of Ed to vote on these two plans. So just people, so anyone who's here will not see these on the agenda tonight. They'll show back up on July 1st. This way, if we need to make any small changes or anything, we have a period to do that, or any information gathered, and then, as I said, they'll be on July 1st for a Board of Education vote.
I want to thank Mr. Zarcone again and his team for the two presentations. At this time, I'd like the motion to close the public planning hearing and enter into the business meeting. Ms. Pignataro, Ms. Conley, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. At this time, I'd like to open the meeting for community old and new business. Nothing? Okay. I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Hendershot, our student representative.
Thank you. So I'll do this quickly so we can get to all of your recognitions. But this week, BPE is preparing for their 8th annual Outdoor Classroom Day on May 22nd. Outdoor Classroom Day is a global movement to make time outdoors a part of every child's day. Students will complete different activities, including a STEAM activity, a walk through the nature reserve, and a read aloud from older students, teachers, and administrators. BPE is also setting up a Mental Health Awareness Day to celebrate the end of Mental Health Awareness Month. Students, faculty, and staff will wear green, the color of mental health awareness, and participate in a building-wide activity on Friday, May 30th, to remind everyone that they are not alone and it is okay to ask for help. This week at Academy is our Because Nice Matters Week in honor of Carly Lestrange, a student who attended Academy Street. Monday, students engaged in Nice Matters Day, where they had the opportunity to speak with college athletes, engage in team-building improv games with our high school students, and participate in table talks led by our 4th and 5th grade students. Today was Give a Compliment Day, and tomorrow is Plant a Seed for Kindness, where students will plant flowers in our courtyard. On Thursday, our 3rd through 5th graders will run in our annual Friends of Carly Fun Run at the high school. We hope that while we honor Carly, we also continue to remind students of the importance of being a community through showing kindness, respect, and including others. This week at Sylvan, our UPK students had a wonderful time turning into letters during our alphabet parade. Students proudly showed off all they had learned this year. We're also so excited to welcome families to join the celebration. We are excited for Sylvan Avenue's Field Day this week as well. Students can't wait to enjoy games, activities, and outdoor fun. It is a great chance to celebrate teamwork and friendship. At the middle school, we're excited to welcome 5th grade students for a special visit to experience a behind-the-scenes look at our middle school musical, Frozen Junior. This visit offers a wonderful opportunity for incoming students to see this program in action. We're incredibly proud of the hard work students and staff have put into this production, and we hope to see you too at one of the performances on May 30th or 31st. Also, on May 30th, our 7th grade students will participate in our annual Life of a Civil War Soldier Day. This interactive, hands-on experience brings history to life as students explore artifacts and a replica of an encampment. It's always Memorial Day that helps to build on the understanding of history in a tangible and meaningful way. Finally, at the high school, May is filled with excitement as students prepare for final projects, exams, and end-of-the-year celebrations. June 11th is a designated testing day for those taking the Geometry Regents or English 9 final. Our Library Media Center has been highlighting creative student work, including a standout Lego Villa project by senior Gavin Truberg. Fundraisers are also underway for the class of 2026 and 2028, and PTA Staff Appreciation Day is set for May 21st. Students are reminded to carry their ID cards daily and maintain strong attendance as we finish the year.
Thank you, Haley. We now go to Dr. Harney for the superintendent's report and for our favorite part of the evening, our recognitions.
Thanks, Mr. Johnson. Thanks, Ms. Hendershot. Just a couple updates for you. Obviously, today we have our vote, along with all the other public schools within New York State. So if you have not had the opportunity, please, the polls will be open until 9 p.m. tonight. And remember that you'll be voting on three things: the overall budget, the capital reserve, as we had talked about over the last few months, and three of our Board of Ed trustees. So that is still there. Leading to that, I know probably in this last week, or over the last couple of weeks, you've heard me talk about foundation aid or aid coming from the state. So I did want to give an update on that, because I think it was most recently our governor did approve a budget. And you may have looked in the paper and saw and looked at the Bayport Blue Point, and it said an increase of somewhere over $700,000. Again, I will tell you, as you look at this, you look at it, much of that included pre-K money, which again is money that you cannot use for anything else besides pre-K. So when you really look at the increase for Bayport Blue Point, which is something we've been talking about since December, originally it was around $208,000. Now it looks like we did get a small increase of about $260,000. So again, I caution people as they continuously look in the paper at those things. Some of the aid that is included in there is really not we cannot use it in the general fund, so that is important for us to know. So that's something. Just as a reminder, I'll bet now everyone is glad that we use no snow days, because we're off on Friday and Tuesday for our students now. So hopefully you can enjoy those days with your family. And I know Ms. Hendershot spoke to us, but I'd like to give another shout out or a big push for the middle school musical, which will be on the 30th and 31st. It's always a great event. I'm always impressed by the talent that we have down there. So it's something to please make sure you can come and take a look at. Also, a thank you to all of our art teachers for all the work that they did with the visual art show. Hopefully you were able to get here on the May 10th. It was a tremendous event, and I always find it interesting because you can see what the younger students are doing and then kind of what it turns into with the older students. So it's very, very impressive. And just another thing, in case you're wondering, on May 30th at the middle school, they're going to do their Civil War demonstration. So if you hear a large bang, it's because they're shooting off a cannon. And we will make notice that Ms. Henke Berkman is back there, but just so you are aware of that. So if you're living around there, we will notify people, but it is something that it is to remember. And then the last thing that gets tied into this, with the budget and the governor's budget, many of you have probably heard that the governor has talked about a cell phone policy. The way it reads right now is we have to look at having a policy in place by August 1st, which does not leave us much time, or any state or any district in New York State. So that is something that through Mr. Haas's office, they'll work with various stakeholders to try to come up with something. We are still waiting for all the official regulations. They are telling us it is bell to bell. We're trying to get all clarity on that, but that is something that we will work on as we're going forward. But that is something that has been out there, that we're still waiting on some information. But as it stands right now, we do need to have a policy for August 1st. And then I think notification to families has to be by September 1st, and implementation is for next year. So we're still waiting on that. So that is something you probably have read about or heard about in the news. So that is something we're still kind of waiting on, but we have to move forward because we only have a certain number of Board of Ed meetings, and the policy would have to be Board of Ed approved. So that is something. Saying that, let's move to really why we're here tonight. It's really to recognize a number of our students. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate all of you, congratulate our families. It's great to see so many people here. This is always a nice time of year between now and June where we get to see a lot of our students and a lot of our faculties. So I'd like to thank everybody that is here and thank our families. Saying that, congratulations, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Haas, who will go into a little bit more detail, but if we can just give everyone just one quick round of applause, and thank you for everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Honey. As Dr. Honey said, this is a great evening. You can see how many people here. I don't know if Mr. Zarcone ever had this many people in attendance for his two presentations, so congratulations to him. But really, this is a tremendous evening to see all of you here and being recognized for the hard work that you've put in throughout this year. So we're going to call up, we're going to do 4 different groups. We have the middle school science Olympiads, then we have the 2 middle school robotics teams, and then finally we will conclude with the PTA reflections winners. So I would like to call, we're going to start with the Science Olympiads, and what I would like to call up Ms. Westerland, our middle school principal, who's going to assist, and also Ms. Peterson, who, after I call up all the students, she is going to say a little bit about the team and how they've done this year. So when your name gets called up, you're going to get your certificate, and you guys are going to stand up front here so that we can get a group picture of you guys as well. All right, so to call up the James Wilson Young Middle School Science Olympiads, we'll start with Joseph Abadi, Nathaniel Bolger, Lillian Capozzi, Juliana Cirillo, Angelina Festa, Daniel Harrison, Finnegan Hasher, Michael Kane, Carson Conley, Ray LaBarca, Nicholas Morrow, Alyssa Nicosia, Charlotte O'Leary, Jane Raymond, Francesca Seitz, Razan Shah, and Liam Vanderbeek. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Ms. Peterson, and then we'll invite the board members up for a picture with them after. Okay, so you guys can start heading up there. So I want to thank Ms. Peterson for just the tremendous amount of time that she puts in with this group of students, and really give her so much credit for everything she's done to help these students become successful in everything they were doing. So thank you to her as well, and I'm going to turn the mic over to her.
Thank you, Mr. Haas. My name is Krista Peterson, and I'm the coach of the James Wilson Young Division B Science Olympiad team. This year, our team had an unbelievable season. At the Eastern Long Island Regional Championship, the team members competed in 18 science and engineering events, ranging from simple tests to developing complex contraptions. At the competition, they received 14 event medals. We had our first ever regional champions, the pair of Nate Bolger and Michael Kane, who won air trajectory for the first time ever. That was great. The team's strong performance at regional championships earned them a 5th place finish and sent them on their 3rd consecutive trip to New York State Science Olympiad Championships in Syracuse on April 3rd to 4th. I have to say, most of these students have made now 3 trips to states. The one's on the stage right now, which is impressive. At the state championship, the team turned in many fantastic performances, including 4 state medalists. Joe Silverbeat and Angelina Festa placed 7th in optics and 9th in Big Turtle Stars. Alyssa Nicosia and Ray LaBarca placed 6th in Scramble. And Nate Bolger and Juliana Cirillo placed 4th in Write It, Do It. The team also narrowly missed an additional 5 team medals. The team placed in the top 3% of the state. I was incredibly impressed with their hard work, teamwork, dedication, and innovation this season, and can't wait to see them continue to grow in the program in the coming years. There's no stopping this bunch. The team would like to thank the Board of Education, Dr. Honey, Mr. Haas, and Mrs. Westerling for their continued support of the program, and a special thank you to the Seed Foundation and the James Wilson Young PTA for helping to make this season a success. We couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson, and congratulations again to all our middle school science Olympiads. So the next groups that we are going to be recognizing, and I'm going to have, we'll have the students, when you get called up, we'll have you go up on the corner of the stage over there so that we can do the picture over there. So we are going to be recognizing the middle school brainstormers and robo-phantoms. We'll start with the brainstormers, and then we'll move to the robo-phantoms. But together as a group, I just wanted to, this season, the brainstormers and robo-phantoms ranked number 3 and number 4 out of over 160 teams in the Long Island region. So congratulations to them. And I'm joined by Ms. Westerland, but I would like to also call up your team coaches who have put in tremendous, just like Ms. Peterson, they have put in tremendous amount of effort and time for these students and to help these students achieve all their goals. So I want to congratulate, but most of all, thank them. So I'd like to call up Mr. DeSantis and Ms. Hanky Brinkman as we recognize the students. So to start with the brainstorms, I'm going to call you up and then I will read about you so that you're up there and everyone can be looking at your smiling faces as we recognize you. So to start with the brainstormers, we have Lillian Capozzi, Max Cardillo, Avery Carney, Riley DeSimone, Finnegan Hasher, Connor Hawks, Carson Kane, Ray LaBarca, Grady Larson, Abram Puccio, Jane Raymond, William Vogel, and Quinn Watson. So a little bit about this team. The 2024-2025 season theme was Dive, in which the 60,000 plus teams around the world focused on problems in our oceans. The brainstormers worked with professional divers to develop, write, and publish a children's book that is now in circulation in our elementary school libraries and will soon be available in the Bayport Blue Point, the Sable, Patrick Medford, Connecticut, South Country, East Islip, and Sachem public libraries. The brainstormers will be traveling to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach, Florida in June to compete in the Florida Sunshine Invitational, a competition that will feature a team from every state in the United States and over 20 international teams. Congratulations and good luck. All right, next joining us up on stage, we are going to be recognizing the Robo Phantoms. So we have Joseph Abad, Nathaniel Bolger, Christopher Canizaro Salas, Juliana Cirillo, Cameron Kudak, Denise Dazdaglu, Angelina Festa, Daniel Harrison, Luke Hedstrom, Michael Kane, Noah Lashuk, Malcolm Merced, Nicholas Morrow, Alyssa Nicosia, Charlotte O'Leary, Krish Patel, Drew Pockenbarger, Brendan Purcell, and Azan Shah. So the Robo Phantoms focused on methods of reestablishing native oyster populations in shallow bay ecosystems like the Great South Bay. The team developed a unique aggregate in which oyster larvae will attach and grow. They are currently working with the Hart Hatchery in West Sable to test their design in the laboratory setting. Their solution, which they named Spock, has proven to be of great success. The oyster larvae are growing at a rate of 3 times faster on Spock than traditional methods. The Robo Phantoms are in contact with Sea Tuck, a nonprofit conservation group, to potentially implement their design in upcoming projects at Shorefront Park in Patchogue Village. The Robo Phantoms are heading to Worcester Polytech Institute in Worcester, Massachusetts, to compete in the WPI annual First Lego League event, a competition that will feature teams from 32 different countries and most of the states in the United States. Congratulations and good luck. We are now going to be moving on to recognize the National PTA Reflections Award winners. Along with Ms. Westerland, I would like to call up our high school principal, Mr. Walcott, and Sylvan Avenue principal, Ms. Kelly, as we have students from the high school, the middle school, and Sylvan Avenue that will be recognized this evening. So before I go into a description and start calling up the students, there are two people that I do want to thank too for all of their work with the PTAs in running this program, and that's Ms. McCormick and Ms. Rake for all the efforts that they put in organizing the students, submitting their work, and then also organizing the event prior to the board meeting this evening. So thank you very much to them for all the efforts that they've put in. All right, so just a little bit about the program. Each year, the PTA Reflections program offers students a platform to express their unique perspective and interpretation of a student-created theme. For the 2024-2025 school year, the theme is Accepting Imperfection. Students in pre-K through grade 12 are invited to create a theme-based artwork in the categories of dance choreography, film production, literature, music competition, photography, or visual arts. This competition encourages students to explore the arts and express themselves by providing positive recognition for their artistic efforts. The students submit their completed artwork. They submit their completed work of art with an artist statement to their local school PTA Reflections contest in the fall. The students then go on and can be awarded in different categories, and the local PTAs celebrate the winners as we are doing this evening. The Suffolk Region PTA announces winners in early January and forwards their names to the Suffolk Region to New York State. New York State selects and submits the state winners and entries to the National PTA to compete against students from across the United States and holds a student award celebration in March and April. The National PTA selects and announces winners of the national level contest in May, and the National PTA awards consist of the Merit Award, the Award for Excellence, and the Outstanding Interpretation Award. So I'd like to start calling up our students, and I'll read out what the awards they have. So we have Evangeline Bolger, who in the film production category was a local district Outstanding Interpretation Award, the Suffolk Region Outstanding Interpretation Award, and New York State Award of Merit. Next, we have Kaylee Bruckner, who in the Visual Arts category is a local district Outstanding Interpretation Award. Next, we have Sloan Dorn, who in the Musical Competition category, local district Outstanding Interpretation Award. And Suffolk Region Award of Excellence. And I do apologize, we have Ms. Velasco from Blue Point Elementary up here as well, awarding the students. I apologize for that mistake. Next we have Jane Einhardt in the Literature category, the Local District Outstanding Interpretation Award. Next we have Anna Gibson in the Photography category, Local District Outstanding Interpretation Award. Next, we have Talia Kleeman. In the literature category, we have the Local District Outstanding Interpretation Award and Suffolk Region Award of Merit. Next, we have Grace LaFountain. In the Special Visual Artist Division, she was the Local District Outstanding Interpretation Award, Suffolk Region Award of Merit, and New York State Award of Merit. Next, we have Sarah Mulroy in the literature category, Local District First Honorable Mention. Next, we have Charlotte Passamante in the literature category with Local District Second Honorable Mention. Next, we have London Soraya in the literature category, Local District Award of Excellence. And finally, we have Clara Swinkin in the dance choreography category. We have a Local District It's Outstanding Interpretation Award. Again, thank you to our PTA Reflections Committee for everything you do for the students, and most of all, congratulations to our students for all of your fine work.
Great job to everybody. Enjoy the night. This is, anybody that's here for the recognition is more welcome to leave as we continue with the rest of the business meeting. Good job, everyone. And good luck to the robotics teams at their future competitions as well as the science Olympiads. Okay, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items the board would like to move from the consent to the regular agenda? Nothing? Can I get a motion to approve consent agenda items K, L, M, N, O, and P? Mrs. Conley, second, Ms. Pignataro. Any discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to our regular agenda. Can I get a motion to accept two generous donations, one for $645.58 from the James Wilson Young PTA for arts in education, and another one for $36.20 for the box tops for education for Sylvan Avenue Elementary School? So moved. Ms. Pignataro, Ms. Conley? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The district greatly appreciates the efforts of the PTA and the box tops for education. Can I get a motion to approve the second reading of policies 2410, formulation, adoption, and amendment of policies, and 8130, school safety plans and teams? Ms. Conley? Second by Ms. Pignataro. Discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. This is the final chance for any community members to come up to discuss any business. Nothing? Trustee, new business? Nothing? Thank you, everyone. I would like to request a motion to adjourn the business meeting and reconvene the high school gymnasium at 9 p.m. to accept the results of the 25-26 budget vote and election. Motion by Mr. Krug. Second by Ms. Pignataro. All in favor? Have a great night.